No, that's one. What? What? Hey, Mama. What? Nope, you're not going to eat because you didn't finish broccoli. Hey, Trina. See who else we get on here. What time is it? It's 12. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. That's Trina. Say hi to Trina.
Hi, Trina. Hi.
Oh, can't see your face. There's your face. There's your face, baby. There's your face.
Mommy.
Daddy's gonna get you ready for bed.
Mommy.
What? Daddy's gonna get you ready for bed.
Hi.
Hi, Skylar.
Hi.
All right, Daddy's gonna take you upstairs. Get ready for bed. Across the street to buy a couple Mega Million tickets.
I didn't buy any.
I hate it. I hate the whole idea, but it's like, what the hell now, right? Go for it.
Right? You gotta go for it.
Mine as well.
It's Rachel and Skylar.
I'm gonna go with Daddy.
So,
Yep. Please.
oh.
The stuff you brought me.
Oh, God, wait. Should need that.
What do you do?
Video call.
What's the score?
Just started, so
Yeah.
nothing.
Ew, why are you watching baseball?
It's a World Series. Food and exercise.
What's this?
You're excited?
Who's calling?
Person in the chat.
Here they come. Can you ladies turn on your video so we can see your faces? All I see is your names.
Fine.
Yeah, you get me in all my just showered glory. I
just
got
got
my
back from
pajamas
yoga.
on. Cindy, are you there? Can you turn on your video so I can see your pretty face?
Oh,
Hey Trina, can you guys mute yourself, and then I'll ask you guys to check in and you can unmute and talk. There you go.
Mute.
Hey Cindy, are you there? All right, let's give it one more minute, see if anybody pops on. There she is. All right, we'll see if anybody else jumps on, but let's just start with a check-in. Give me a little rundown of where you're at, how you're feeling, if you still have any remaining questions, what are your thoughts moving forward, what do you want to know from me? Cindy, why don't you go ahead? You have to unmute yourself and then you can talk.
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
I'm a little behind where I should be just because I let myself be here. Because since the family came up, I put everything aside and concentrated on them and did fun stuff, ate good things, and didn't go and work out. So today was first day back, and glad to be back. So I'm a little behind as far as that. I don't think I have any questions for you, really.
You've turned into like the macro gangster. You've been nailing it.
I try.
Yeah, really, really good.
Thank you.
So the thing with, like, you know, when you're like, I'm behind, that's life, right? Obviously that happens. So just continue on with that mindset of just like overall big picture. You know what I mean? You didn't take a 3-month hiatus and then
God, no.
come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes doing that makes you realize how much better you feel, you know, how much you love it, how much you enjoy it, how much it increases your energy. I mean, sometimes you do have to take little breaks like that.
Right.
Just to reevaluate. Obviously, family is important. You know what I mean? It's all about priorities. The thing that I'm going to touch on tonight is like how powerful intermittent fasting is when you have no control over anything else. That's something that you can almost control like 100% of the time if you choose that. So that's why I like am obsessed with it, because no matter what's going on in my life, I that's something that is my choice every single day. Like I have complete control over that. No matter if I have family coming or, you know, I'm traveling or, you know, whatever it is, like I have control over that. So I'm going to kind of elaborate on that in a little bit. But like that's why I love it so much, and that's why it's like my non-negotiable day to day, because that really just keeps me in control no matter what's going on, you know, whether I'm not working out, whether I'm not at home, whether I'm eating like foods, you know, just freely, that type of thing. Obviously that's life and that's how it should go. So that's good. You know what I mean? And you're back at it. You're back at the gym. You're back in that routine. You're feeling good. Like, you know that you feel better with it. Like I said, sometimes you gotta take those little breaks and then come back to it and be like, this is why I do it, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. How do you like fasting? Do you like, where are you at with tracking? How do you feel like, where do you feel like you're at? Where do you need to be? Like moving forward, what do you want to do?
I'm going to continue to do it on my own. And I'm going to continue to track my food because I was doing that before anyway. It probably would be good for me to fast longer. Sometimes it's like I feel like I'm so starving, I'm watching the clock every 5 minutes, and I just finally break down and eat. So if I could stretch it out, would be good.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about some things moving forward that you can do. So one of them is adjusting your macros. So for you, that might be like bumping everything up. You might not be eating enough. You know what I mean? The more lean muscle mass you build, the higher your metabolism is. So the more calories you need just to feed your body.
Okay.
So if you're feeling hunger like on a daily basis and you feel like you know what I mean, you fasted long enough now where you're like, okay, I'm hungry. I don't want to eat because I'm bored. Like I'm hungry. Then I would say adjust your macros up, and I'm going to get to that in a minute too after we check in with each other.
Okay.
But that's probably what would be good for you is to do that if that's where you're at. So that's super important. Like if you're feeling hungry now that you know what true hunger feels like, if you're feeling that, it's time to make a shift. So we'll address that for you, and you'll do that moving forward.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Colleen, what's going on with you?
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm loving the program. I'm excited to stay. I'm going to sign up for the second round because I feel like I'm just getting the hang of it.
Yes.
Yep. And at the beginning, I couldn't eat enough. Like I was too full.
Mm-hmm.
So I was clearly like, I don't know what I was consuming on a regular basis. It wasn't anywhere near 1,200 calories.
Mm-hmm.
But now I can eat them.
Okay.
Sometimes it's too easy now.
Yeah.
But
Good.
But
Well,
that's been,
yeah, you've been building lean muscle mass too. So we'll kind of evaluate that for you moving forward.
mm-hmm.
And your protein's been good. You've had your protein up consistently.
Yeah, getting better at that. I like it. I like all the foods, so it's easy to like. I like the tempeh. I like tofu.
Yeah.
And when I prepare it ahead, like you suggested last week when you were giving us those protein options,
Yeah.
that's a really good idea. I have some prepared ahead of time.
Yeah.
So just grab it and add it to something.
Hey, you know what? I had a salad today, and I did. I pre-baked my tempeh, and I make it like spicy. I marinate it. And I was out for a walk today, and I was like, it would be good if I cut the tempeh into like strips. Because my salad had like spicy tempeh, and I had guacamole, and like that combo is really good. So like the tempeh sliced in strips, like dipped in guacamole on a low carb day, really good.
That would be good.
I was like, oh, that's a good just like snack type thing. So
and where'd you find that recipe, or do you just make it up?
I just make it up. I just dice up the tempeh and I throw it in a container with some olive oil, sriracha, onion powder, garlic powder, and like a little bit of apple cider vinegar to kind of water it down so I can coat it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just bake it on a sheet with salt and pepper for, 10 to 15 minutes. You got to watch it because it'll burn pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But that gives it a lot of flavor and kind of crisps up the outside. So in a salad, it gives it a little bit of texture. I need like tons of crunch when I have a salad, so that really helps.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm liking it. I like the workouts. Like I keep saying, I wish I lived closer. I'd love to go to your gym.
I know. This is the next best thing, right?
What's that?
I said this is the next best thing.
Right. Yeah, I like the workouts. I like how they're all organized, and sometimes like yesterday I could hardly do 8 of them, let alone 10. The one where we went 10, 9, 8 body things, but I figure even if I'm doing 3 or 4, I'm doing 4 more than I did
absolutely
originally. So
yeah, workouts are always scalable. You know what I mean? Like go to that place where you're challenged, but at the same time, you scale it to whatever works for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you follow the beginner plan or the home plan?
Home.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the workouts are like, I like them because they're not overly complicated. They're not super time consuming, especially the HIIT ones. And I'm always like, if you have 15 minutes or 20 minutes, just set a timer.
Right.
Work hard for that 15 or 20 minutes and get it done, So you can always vary your workouts based on your time. You can vary it based on, your energy levels. Like if you didn't sleep that great, scale it back, lighten up. If you're having a week where you're feeling awesome, you're sleeping good, pump it up. You know what I mean? You're in full control of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
Yeah. So good. Thanks again.
Has your energy changed at all? Like eating more protein? Like how do you feel that way?
I always had pretty good energy, so I don't really notice that, but I definitely feel stronger.
Yeah.
And I teach holy yoga on Tuesdays, and when I was just doing it, definitely different.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more aware of all the muscles that I'm using.
Yep.
Because they're stronger.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good.
And I can't wait to uncover that belly. I don't know when that's going to happen, but
I know, like even with a program like this, like 6-7 weeks is a decent amount of time, but you still have to wrap your mind around like big picture.
right.
Like it takes a long time. And like even, like your trouble spot is always the last spot.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's my legs. Like my legs hold on to fat like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's my spot. Other people, it's their stomach. Some people, it's like they gain it all. Well, I mean, everybody gains fat, carries fat differently.
Yeah.
And there's no, like with muscles, you can focus on muscles and you can target muscles. There's absolutely no way to target fat loss. You have no control over where the fat comes off. So you just have to keep staying with it, stay the course, trust the process, and you'll get there.
Yeah. Yep. And intermittent fasting, easy.
Yes.
Oh, and drinking black coffee. That's something else.
Yeah. I know. I'm all about the black coffee now. I did it for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden I just started putting cream in it. But I've been on black coffee now for a long time, but I love that. Sometimes
for a treat, I add oat milk. Have you tried that?
No.
It's good.
That'd be good.
Like regular creamy coffee, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, for a treat, not during the intermittent fasting time.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I usually like make a yummy iced coffee in the afternoon if I want something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, Trina, you're up. She's watching the game.
Oh, it's there. I was trying to unmute it. I am watching the game, though. It's not serious. How can you not watch it?
I know. Well, I don't have cable, so I have no choice. But so, what's going on with you? Give me an update.
I don't know. Do I have an update? I don't know. I've been going to the gym 5 days a week. We've been doing Zumba Wednesday nights. I did your class Saturday morning. And there was a big crowd there. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good calorie burn, just kind of doing something different, and we did a lot of the same exercises that we do at our hybrid gym, but just, I don't know, it was more intense. There's more people. There's, it's just a different crowd, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was good. And I did learn a lot, like your informational speech that you did. It like pointed out some of the things that I'm already doing, but the like whys and hows and reasons why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
More sense after hearing you give your informational talk. So, that part of it might be helpful to somebody who's starting this first, to just kind of see how it pairs with what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Okay.
So like the explanations about why you're eating carbs when you're doing strength exercises, and why you're not eating carbs when you're doing cardio, and those types of explanations that you had.
Okay.
Kind of, I mean, it made sense and why it fits all together.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know, I'm not having as hard time as I thought with the low carb days.
Yeah.
I kind of look forward to them, but then I also look forward to eating the carbs the next day. So, but I haven't had a hard time adjusting to that as I thought I would.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know if it's just the way the program is structured, and if people are having better results with having 2 low carb days in a row. Because I'm doing it Tuesday, Thursday low carb days, so I don't know if I'm seeing that much of a difference, or maybe my results are different because I'm not doing it back to back.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to see how that fits.
Okay. How do you feel physically? Do you feel like there are changes happening?
Yeah, I do. I don't really know how much weight I lost, but inches wise, yes. Energy, yes. Sleeping better.
Awesome. Cool. So there is definitely a benefit to back-to-back low carb days because you get to that depletion stage and then you kind of maintain that for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
So if you do want to like add that into the mix, I think that would be a really great shift for you if you can make it work. Do you have options at hybrid as far as like which classes you can attend, or is it like Monday's always strength, or how could you do that?
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday is always strength, and Tuesday, Thursday is cardio. So
Okay.
I don't really have that flexibility. I mean, I don't know if I would rearrange my gym schedule or just keep it the way it is, and maybe it's just going to take longer because I'm not getting that deficit of carbs. But
yeah,
the fasting, I haven't had any problems with that. I've been actually going longer than 16 hours.
okay, cool.
And that's mostly because I get about the time that I should be eating, I get busy and I forget to, oh yeah, I was supposed to eat it, whatever, and then it's an hour and a half later. So
Okay. Cool. I would say moving forward, definitely if you want to try to do the back-to-back low carb days, I mean, you could do them like Saturday, Sunday, which doesn't make the weekend like that fun. But I know you do like your Park Street Grill night kind of like Friday nights or some other night. So
yeah, Thursday nights.
Thursday.
Usually.
So if you kind of like rearrange it a little bit that way,
Yeah.
try to do the low carb days back to back. If that just doesn't work for your schedule and you're like fighting it, then that's pointless because it's not going to work long term. I would say either you could try it, see if it works. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't. What you could do is on your low carb days and your cardio days, try to, I know you've been trying to hit your steps. Like that's an awesome goal, is like hit 10, maybe even like 12,000 steps on a low carb day. You're getting that a little bit of extra fat burn just from like steady state cardio. Or if you could sneak in like a 20-minute walk when you get out of work or on your lunch break, you know what I mean? Add in something like that so you get a little bit more fat burn on those days.
Right.
I would say that would be an option. Or if you think your schedule can work and you rearrange it, then go for that 2 days back to back.
Yep.
You can maximize that like glycogen depletion, you know what I mean? Because you're going a whole nother day. And
right.
And in the like if you follow the Faster Way program, we do a HIIT workout Monday and then sprints on Tuesday. So you're kind of already depleted going into Tuesday, and then you sprint, and then you're like really depleted for that day. So you can play around with that and see what works for you. But I would say if you're seeing changes, then I mean it may take like a little bit longer, like you said. But if you're seeing changes, then things are working the way you're doing it. And if that's what works for you, you love that schedule, you can stay balanced, then that's what's important overall too. You know, long-term approach.
Well, I just started going back to the gym. I think I was gone from like May to August, and I just had started going back to the gym August 5th.
Yep.
So probably I was only back at the gym a month before starting your program. So
okay.
I think it's just going to take time to get back to where it was at. And
oh yeah, it takes time for sure. Cool. So you're going to continue on with fasting and then just kind of play around with that schedule. Is that your plan?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, you can mute yourself, and I'm just going to dive into. So like I said, coming back to Cindy, you know, that those few days that she was kind of just having fun and playing, even for myself, like this past session that I've done with you guys, I've used the Faster Way to simply maintain, because my schedule went from summer fun with not much going on to like total chaos. Like I don't even know what happened this fall. I've been so like all over the place. I went from hardly teaching any classes to teaching 14 classes a week, bringing in clients. The kids went back to school. I went to Nashville. I went to Florida, like just a ton of stuff going on. So I knew that I wasn't in a place where I could like, you know, buckle down and stay focused. So what I did was just commit do daily fasting every single day, because that literally is something that you have complete control over. Okay? Even if people ask you to go out to eat, okay, or whatever, that's your decision. You know, you can go out and have coffee and sip coffee if people want to go out to breakfast or brunch or whatever. You can always switch your fasting schedule around. Like if you want to go to breakfast or want to go to brunch, stop eating earlier the day before and create a fasting window at around a different time period. Okay? So that's an option. Like fasting is in your complete control based on your lifestyle, your schedule, whatever you have going on. And it's something that you can commit to day to day that you have control over. I mean, even if I prep my foods and I have everything lined up in the fridge and I have my meals pre-planned, like, you know, something comes up during the week and it doesn't go to plan, even though I had everything in place. But fasting is something that I can always come back to and always maintain control over. So just keep that in mind, especially if you feel like life's a little crazy or there's things out of your control. Just be like, this is something that I do have control over. It's going to keep me, you know, in a maintenance mode for this period of time if I need to, and then I'll regroup. So that's where I'm at. Like the whole past 8-9 weeks, I've been in maintenance. My focus was daily fasting, 3 strength training workouts a week if I could make it happen, additional cardio if I could make it happen, eating as best I could, but, you know, like I said, that fasting was my priority, and I was consistent with that no matter where I was, what I was doing, what I had going on. So that is a really, really powerful tool, especially moving forward into this danger zone, I'm calling it. It starts with Halloween. For us in Maine, like November is brutal on your well-being. I don't know about you guys, but like when it's dark at 3:30, it's really hard to like get yourself pumped up to even like make dinner and all that. So November's a really hard month. So you can bring that part of it into it for control. Then we have Thanksgiving and Christmas, blah, blah, blah. So this is the danger zone. It gets really hard. So just hold on to that fasting as a tool to keep you going nice and strong. So that's what I love about this program, is that it gives us a tool when, you know, a tool and control when we're just dealing with life all the time. So that's really helpful. So that's that. Okay, adjusting macros, back to that. So I'm going to run through some points to kind of help you guys determine whether or not you should adjust your macros. The 20% protein, 30% fat, 15% carbs is pretty generic. That's like a really good starting point for people to kind of start paying attention to how they feel when they eat that way. Hey, and also comparing that to like how you feel on a low carb day. So if you feel like really great on a low carb day, you tend to feel better. Your energy is a little bit more sustained with higher fats. You might want to consider scaling back a little bit on the carbs and going towards like 30% protein, 30% fat, 40% carbs. Okay? If you love your low carb days, but then you love bringing in those carbs and you feel good, you don't feel bloated, you don't feel like heavy or weighed down with that 50% carbs, and you're nailing your strength workouts and you're putting them to use, stay with it. Okay? Cindy, for you, I would say if you are feeling hunger, like more often than not, you're feeling hunger, you need to adjust your macros up. So you can go into your goals and take your calorie amount, times it by 5%. So if you were at like, what's your calorie amount, your base calorie amount?
1,500.
1,500, okay. So you're at lightly active and half a pound of weight loss, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you would do, so you're at 1,500 times 0.05, so you would add 75 calories onto each day. So you go into MyFitnessPal and you hit goals. Let me do it right now so I'm telling you the right thing. So if you're feeling hunger, like true hunger, now that you know what that feels like, you might want to adjust up It's not a ton. And at first I was like 5%, like we're going to add 75 calories on to you per day, which is not a lot in the day to day, but overall for the week to week, it adds on a significant amount of calories. So if you go to goals, and then you go to calories, carbs, protein, and fat goals, so you can go in, so I just did this with mine the other day. I adjusted mine up 5%. So you would add 75 calories onto your 1,500. You
Right.
change your calorie amount to 1,575.
Can I just do that like maybe 3 days a week or something? Instead of doing it like, that's a lot.
Well, it's only 75 calories per day, but let's see what that is over the course of the week. So that adds 525 calories on per week, but I would say that's probably good. Why don't you try it
All
and
right.
see how you feel?
Okay.
So you're only adding in 75 calories a day, but over the course of the week, you're going to add 575. So I would start there and just see how you feel.
Okay.
If you're like on your low carb days and you're naturally like satisfied because you're eating that higher protein fat and you stay under, then that's fine. But I would really try to hit it on those strength days.
Okay.
Okay. So that's an option. If you're feeling hungry, or if you feel like your body's not, like you started out feeling some physical changes and you've kind of like feel like you haven't changed over the last week or two, adjust your calories up. Okay. Sounds counterintuitive if your goal is to lose fat, but you've been building muscle. Okay. You have built some muscle over these last 6 or 7 weeks. So that means that you have to fuel your body that much more. Okay. You have to give it what it needs in order to run. So just try that and see if it makes a difference. So by adding that 75 calories, it will disperse in between your macronutrients and it will go up 5% in grams for each one by doing that.
Okay.
So start there. See how you're at for hunger. See if it makes a difference. If you're still hungry, you might even need more food. Don't be afraid of that. Okay? Don't be afraid of it. So here's some questions to ask yourself, okay, before adjusting macros. Like we've already done that for Cindy because we know she's hungry. She's not getting enough fuel. So let's go ahead and do that. And moving forward, you can see how you feel. But some things to ask yourself. So if your clothes are fitting differently, you know what I mean? You've taken Cindy's done measurements, so she knows where she's at. Hopefully you've stayed off the scale, but like physically you should feel a difference, whether you're building lean muscle, you feel a little tighter, you feel a little leaner because you're burning fat. If you're still feeling changes, okay, you might want to stay where you're at and kind of stay the course. If you feel like you've plateaued maybe these last 2 weeks, okay, that might be a sign for time to switch up your macros. Think about how you've been sleeping, okay? So if you feel like your body's not changing, but you haven't been sleeping very well or addressing stress, please do that before adjusting your macros. That's a really important part of it. We don't want to add additional stress on. We want to have our stress and our sleep in check before we change anything, because just focusing on that could make a difference. Considering everybody here has been super consistent with their training, so I'm not really concerned with that. Sometimes when people like try to do the faster way workouts plus they're training for a half marathon, they can be overtraining and they can be doing damage. They're not taking on their rest days. And that with you guys, I'm pretty sure that you guys are on. But for anybody that watches the replay, please consider if you have been overtraining and under eating still, or maybe you haven't brought in that workout piece, or you haven't been consistent, okay? So if you feel like you're not seeing changes, but the workout piece is still not there consistently overall, that's something that you need to focus on before adjusting macros. If you feel like you've been doing everything right and you're not seeing any changes, it may be time to address that with some blood work from like a naturopathic doctor. So if you feel like you've been doing everything right, you've been hitting your macros, you're consistent with your workouts, you've tested out going gluten and dairy free, and you're still not like feeling or seeing the changes that you think you should, a comprehensive blood panel to see if you have any issues with your hormones is not a bad idea. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Hydration is huge. Like, we prioritize water, okay? I haven't really brought it up lately because I've been hoping that everybody has been consuming plenty of water. And when you fast, it's kind of hard not to drink and not to hydrate. Just make sure that you're not going to coffee in excess. That's one of my biggest struggles. And lately I've been trying to do like hot water with lemon or hot water with apple cider vinegar before I have coffee. But hydration is huge. If you've been lacking in hydration, prioritize that before making any other changes. The gluten and dairy testing on yourself, if you've never experimented with it, I urge you over and over and over again to just try that out. Sometimes that is just the missing link. And sometimes it's not about having to eliminate it forever. It's just kind of reassessing how much you're eating and how much it affects you, especially with like just bloating. So keep that in mind. So if you have addressed all those things, you still feel like hunger or that you've plateaued and you've been doing everything right, I would say go ahead and adjust your macros up 5% like I just talked Cindy through. You go into MyFitnessPal, you manually add in 5% of whatever your baseline calories amount, and then it will adjust your macros from there, okay? So you've been focused on building lean muscle, so you can't be afraid to eat, okay? You have to keep your body fueled properly. That's really important. And like I said, if you feel better on low carb days, personally, just from playing around with carbs, I know that I feel better when my fats are a little bit higher. So I adjusted my macros the other day. I went up 5% and I went to 30% protein, 30% fat, 40% carbs. So that's going to be my goal on a strength day, okay? I don't feel as heavy. I feel like my energy is a little bit more consistent throughout my day. For me, when I eat a lot of carbs, even if they're like coming from really good sources, sometimes I tend to crave sugar. My body is really sensitive to like candida and yeast overgrowth. So if I am, and that's part of being like carb sensitive. So there's just different things that you need to be aware of with your body, like how you feel on carbs. You bloat easily. Does even if they're complex carbs, does that make you crave sugar? If so, maybe consider scaling back those carbs just a little bit. So personally, that's how I feel. I know that I need carbs. I love carbs. I try to go to great sources of carbs. But for me, knocking them down just a little bit and bringing in fats and protein a little bit higher just keeps me a little bit more even keeled. So just pay attention to how you feel on a low carb day versus a high carb day, okay? And that gives you two options moving forward to change your macros. You can bump up your protein a little bit, drop your carbs, okay? You could even bump your fats up a little bit. You have that 100% macro breakdown to kind of play around with. Everybody's different, and that's part of the process, is kind of fine-tuning that for yourself. Or if you like the low carb days, you love the strength day carbs, you feel great, you feel like it's working, but you're hungry, or you're not seeing results, bump them up to 5%. Does that make sense? Okay. Just make sure that all other issues are addressed before you think that you plateaued, okay? Are all the pieces of the puzzle in place moving forward? That's what you need to ask yourself with sleep, hydration, not overtraining, being consistent with workouts, hitting your calorie amount. If you've been consistently under, don't try to go up, okay? You need to be able to hit that baseline consistently. So that is my spiel moving forward. So Trina gave me some great feedback as far as maybe some clarity at the beginning of the program. I will definitely work on that. Do you guys have any other feedback for me? I can't hear you, Cindy. You got to unmute.
There. I have a question though.
Yeah.
I was going to scan my Thrive mushrooms that I got
Uh-huh.
because I'll show you the label on it. Hold on a second. Scan because it says new item. I don't know. Let's see. See there? It won't scan that.
Yeah, I think that is like an Amazon barcode. But you don't need to scan those. You don't need to enter them in because they don't have, I think on the package, isn't it 0 calories?
Well, it came up and it said 0. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious. Yeah.
It's such a
Yeah.
small amount that it's not going to make a difference. So don't
Okay.
even worry about adding them in.
All right.
What have you been adding them to? Do you put them in your coffee?
No, I put it in, I had it in a protein shake today with water with stronger, fitter, help, whatever that is, SFH
Yeah.
chocolate. I shake that up with water and I put it in there. Don't even notice it.
Awesome.
Yesterday I had Revive, which is a new product from Stronger. Yep. I've mixed it in there. The only did change brown. It tasted fine. It was fine.
Wow.
It was
Good.
like
Awesome.
nothing. So
Cool.
that was pretty good.
Good,
Yeah.
yes. So try to get those in daily. Those adaptogens are amazing for combating stress, for your immune system. Like going into winter, they are phenomenal. I added them in last December and never looked back. Like I know it made a huge difference on my immune system. So that paired with fasting is super. And I have other mushrooms for you guys too. I'm going to get those sent out. I'll contact Fresh Cap. So Cindy, I'll send you a bag of the cordyceps,
Okay.
which is like, it's just cordyceps mushrooms on its own. It's in a powder, just like Thrive 6. You
Yeah.
can add them into whatever you want, but they are really great for energy. A good little energy boost. So I'll send you those ones. And then ladies, I will send you the Thrive 6, Trina and Colleen. And then I think Kelly ordered Thrive 6 on her own. So I'll send her a bag of cordyceps.
I don't think I won them.
Oh, you didn't?
No. I wasn't very compliant this series.
I thought I had you down. Somebody shared. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Kelly, Trina, Cindy, Marilyn. Sorry. I thought you were on there.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, ladies. Trina, I'll let you get back to your game. Don't stay up too late.
Thank you
All
for
right.
all that you do, Rochelle.
Oh, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. I love it. Thank you guys for being awesome. So I'll see you next round, Colleen, right?
Yes, I just signed up while we were talking.
Oh, awesome. I think we're going to I'll probably keep everybody in the same group and then just remove people that aren't staying and add the new people in.
Okay.
So let me know if you have any questions about adjusting your macros, like what you think you should be doing or what you want to try. I'll work with you personally on that, okay?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that because I think I actually have the opposite of everybody else, and my calories are at like 2,010 a day.
Yeah.
But I'm usually 300 to 500 calories short,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not adding in exercise calories either. So I'm burning, 300 to 500 calories on top of that. So, but I mean, I'm not hungry. I'm not looking for food or anything. So I don't know.
I would say, and you're at lightly active, half a pound.
I think
What's up?
I have it set lightly active, half a pound a week.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I would say eat until you're satisfied, and continue on what you're doing, and just maybe do like you'll do a set of measurements at the end of this 6 weeks. I would do like I would continue on what you're doing, maybe try to increase that fat burn just a little bit. Do another set of measurements in another 3 weeks. If you're still seeing change, then keep going. If you're not seeing change, then reevaluate at that point. So,
okay.
But I mean, if you're not hungry, then you're probably eating enough. You know, and if you haven't been prioritizing protein and fats and you bring those in, those tend to keep you satisfied, so you might naturally be under. I would say just try to pair that higher calorie with your strength training. You know, on your low carb days, if you're under, that's fine because your goal is to burn fat anyway. But just be mindful of those strength days and how you feel moving forward.
Okay.
But I would say do measurements at the end of this week and then do them again in 3 weeks. And if there's a change, then you're fine. If there's no change, then you need to reevaluate. Make sense? Cool. And don't forget to do measurements. I'm going to send out another client form the end of this week. But don't forget to do measurements and pictures at the end of this week.
Okay.
And if you want to share photos, I know that's not anybody's favorite thing to do ever, but you know, if you're proud of it and you want to own it and you want us to celebrate with you, post it to the group. I would love that. Everybody's always super supportive. I know it's a big step. It's out of your comfort zone, but it's really good to share that with others too.
Can we weigh at the end of the week?
Can you weigh yourself?
Yep. At the end of the week, because I set up whatever the whole body thing is on Friday morning.
Yeah, good. Did you do it at the beginning of the program, or when was the last time you did that?
It was about 2 weeks before the program started, so it's really been quite a while.
All right, I think my internet is crapping out here. Cool, yeah, share those results with me. I'd love to hear what changes you see.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna let you ladies go. Have an awesome night. Okay, take care.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.